Hello, my name is Denny Crehan. Today I'm here to talk to you about coaching the wing T quarterback, and this will be part one of our presentation. We want to start this topic by talking about the wing T quarterback and how to develop this quarterback's leadership. The first thing we do is try to create leadership with our quarterbacks, okay? There are some things that you can do as a coach to develop your quarterbacks as leaders in the eyes of their teammates, and that's very important for you to do. Some of the things that I have to talk about, the first point that I want to make to you is number one, extra meetings, okay? That applies to both the off season and in season. So in the off season, if there's no meetings for anybody else, there should be a meeting for the quarterback. Now obviously you can't violate whatever rules that you have for your particular association, but if there's a way that you can meet with those quarterbacks legally, they should have extra meetings even when the other guys don't. During the season, everybody has pre-practice meetings, and whether that meeting is 45 minutes or a half an hour or an hour, it doesn't matter. Whatever amount of time you have designated to meet with your offensive unit, you want those quarterbacks in that meeting before the rest of those guys show up, so that when that door opens and all those guys walk in there, they see that the quarterbacks have already been working. The quarterbacks are extra, and everybody knows it, and so that right there tells the rest of their teammates, hey, these guys are working hard. These guys are really working hard. They're doing actually more than we are. So that begins to develop that leadership. The second thing is in what we call clap sessions. Now, a clap session is a pre-practice meeting where you can practice your cadence and you can have your whole offense getting off on the ball without spending any energy whatsoever. Now, when you do this, the quarterbacks have to be a big part of it. Okay? Now what a clap session exactly is a way to practice our cadence. As you have your entire offense sitting in a room and they are your audience, you're going to practice your cadence by having them all clap their hands. Okay? Now, let's say you want to work on sound cadence. So your quarterback in the huddle would say on sound. When everybody gets to the line of scrimmage, he says the word set, and the ball is snapped on the S and set, and everybody gets off the ball. Well, to practice this in a meeting, everybody holds their hands in a ready position, ready to clap their hands. The quarterback stands up in front of the room, and he says, on sound, set, and when he says the S and set, the whole team claps their hands. And if you get one big loud clap, all at the same time, you know they're getting off the ball together. When you hear a bunch of different claps, now you know that they're not getting off the ball together, and they got to repeat it and do it again until they learn to get off the ball together. Whatever cadences you have, maybe you have short go where the quarterback says red, set, go. And now they snap the ball on the G and go, okay? Now the quarterback would stand up and he'd say, okay guys, on short go, red, set, go. And everybody in the room claps their hands. Okay, now you're doing a couple of different things here. One, you're practicing cadence. And you're doing it without expending any energy. So your team learns to get off on the ball together, they learn to anticipate cadences, and they learn to concentrate, and they all get off or react at the same time. It requires basically no energy. But the second major thing that you're doing in this environment is you have your quarterback standing up in front of the room, being in charge. He's the guy that says, okay guys, on short go, red, set, go. Everybody claps their hands. The quarterback is in a leadership role in that position, so right from the get-go in pre-practice meetings, they learn who's in charge. That's the quarterback. All right, the next thing is in the huddle. When we practice, our football team practices two offenses at the same time. We have an offense, our number one group over on the numbers in one huddle, and our number two group over in the middle of the field in another huddle, and they're going to shotgun. This huddle, the first group runs up to the line of scrimmage, runs their play. As soon as they finish, this group says, ready, break. They sprint to the line of scrimmage and they run their play. And those two groups shotgun back and forth throughout the whole practice. Well, in that huddle, you want your quarterback to be the leader. Nobody talks in that huddle except him. So here's what we do. We have the coach with the playlist, or a manager, or whoever's given these quarterbacks the plays, we have him stand away from those huddles. In fact, the huddles are off to the sides, and the coaches are in a centralized location behind the area where the ball would be snapped from, and the coach or the manager gives the play to the quarterback away from the huddle. So he says, okay, 121 on sound to the quarterback. The quarterback runs over to the huddle and he says, all right, eyes up, listen up. Whatever command he gives to those kids to get them to listen, he'll say, eyes up or listen up, whatever he has to say. And then he gives them the play and the cadence, and nobody else is talking at that time. So only one guy knows the play. Now, that's different than the coach walking over to the huddle and the coach saying 121 on sound where everybody can hear it. So in that environment, the coach is the leader, not the quarterback. When you tell the quarterback the play and he runs over to the huddle, the quarterback is the leader. They don't know what the play is. They're waiting to hear from their quarterback. So they run over, they hear the play, and then they say ready, break, and they sprint up to the line of scrimmage and they run the play. The other part of that is we tell those players that, let's say they've lapsed in concentration somehow and they've gotten to the line of scrimmage and they've forgotten the snap count or they've forgotten the play. They don't ask their buddy next to them. They turn and they grab the quarterback and they say, hey, what's the snap count or what's the play? And the quarterback tells them. So nobody except that quarterback is taking charge in that huddle or on that line of scrimmage. And those players learn to listen to that quarterback and they learn he's in charge. That's the guy. All right, the next part of this leadership training is taking the blame. Now, what I mean by that is this. Let's say the quarterback and the center are having troubles with the quarterback-center exchange. And the quarterback has his hands in a good position and the center just rolls the ball along the ground and gets it nowhere next to him. Well, we want the quarterback to turn around and say to the whole team and the coaches, Coach, that was my fault. Okay? And when we have those little extra meetings pre-practice, and that's one of the things that we talk about with the quarterbacks, that in front of their teammates, they take the blame for everything. And then later on, they can come over and they can say to the coach, hey, coach, he rolled the ball back on the ground. So we can fix the problem, whatever it is. But in front of all those team members, that quarterback takes the blame for anything. So if there's a bad exchange, a bad snap, a bad handoff, a bad anything, that quarterback turns around and says, my fault, coach. And he takes all the blame off his buddies. That brings him an elevated status in their minds. So all these things are things that we do to try to develop the quarterback leadership before we ever coach them on any technique whatsoever. There's one more part of this, and I did not write this on the blackboard because this is something extra. This is something that you would talk to your quarterbacks about, hope that it happens, but it's not really something that you can coach. And that basically is you want your quarterback to hang with the offensive linemen and the regular guys on the team, guys that would normally not be the all-stars necessarily. You know, it's one thing for the quarterback to hang with the captain of the cheerleaders. It's another thing for the quarterback to hang with the best receiver on the team. But it's a totally another thing if that quarterback's hanging out with his offensive lineman. When those offensive linemen go somewhere, you want your quarterback to be right in with them, right, one of the guys. Don't have an elitist attitude with your quarterback, because then there'll tend to be a separation with your guys. I always like to find out which quarterbacks are hanging with my offensive linemen, because I know those are the guys that'll mix it up with all the fellers. So that's not necessarily something that you can write on a board or coach, but that's something that's, I think, very important for a quarterback. Let's talk about exactly what does the quarterback do in practice and what do you have to do as his coach to get him ready to play in a football game, okay? All right, first of all, when you look at the schedule for a normal practice, okay, obviously you have any kind of pre-practice activities that you might do, any kind of loosening up, stretching, running, whatever it is that you might do to get your guys, get the blood flowing, any kind of kicking that you might do, all those things are absolutely separate from what we're talking about here today. What I'm going to talk to you about today is what does a wing T quarterback do in practice, okay? And it goes in this progression basically. The first part of the wing T practice is team takeoff, and there's quarterback leadership involved in this, which I'll show you here in a second. The next part is individual. The next part is mixed group work, which emphasizes the running game. The next part is the passing game stuff. The next part is your 11-on-11 or your team periods. So that's the progression that we work in. Now what I'd like to do is take each one of these 5 areas and talk to you about them one at a time. This first period that we've talked about now is our team takeoff period. Normally we would do this down on the 10-yard line and have our players explode off the line of scrimmage and run across the goal line. okay? When we do this particular drill, we have two offenses going at the same time. We have one group over here on the left hash, another group over here on the right hash. The coach would be standing back here in the middle somewhere, and the coach would be yelling plays. We would basically put other coaches over here on the goal line, on the sideline, to make sure that they see whether or not those players are sprinting all the way across the line, because we want them to sprint full speed across the line when they take off. Now, the way this particular drill works is that the coach stands in the middle, and he would tell one group, okay, you guys over there, you run 929 or buck sweep to the left. You guys over there, you run 121 or buck sweep to the right. And you guys all go on this quarterback over here on the left hash mark. Everybody, the whole 22 of you go on his cadence. So that puts this quarterback right here in a leadership position. He yells out buck sweep or whatever the call is, and he yells on sound or whatever the cadence he wants, gets under the center, and he goes set, and both groups sprint off the line of scrimmage at the same time on the same cadence. The backs run the play pattern. Everybody else explodes into the end zone on a straight line. So now what are we working on? Well, we're working on the quarterback leadership, we're working on the backfield pattern, and we're working on exploding off the ball. One other thing that I would tell you is, for those of you who like to shift, that this is the period where we practiced all of our shifts. Okay, we did not shift during team period because we didn't want to take the time that it takes to do all those shifts and take that amount of time away from our team. We wanted to get as many reps as we could. So here's where we practice our shifts. Okay? Now, the quarterback again is in charge. He's developing leadership. He's also working on play patterns, and he's working on his cadence. So that's our team takeoff period. Once we get out onto the field and we break down into individual groups, there are individual fundamentals for every position. The plan that the quarterback goes through starts with arm loosening drills. Okay, so this is the first thing he's going to do. So the first thing we want this quarterback to do is we want him to just loosen up his arm with the other quarterbacks, and this drill would be set up in this fashion. You'd have a quarterback and a quarterback opposite him about 10 yards away, and another quarterback opposite him about 10 yards away, and they'd be throwing the ball back and forth to each other, essentially playing catch to loosen their arms up. Okay? There are some fundamentals that we want them to work on, which I'll show you here in a second. So just playing catch is the first thing we want them to do. We then do some of these throwing drills that you do from your knees, okay? We would have the quarterback put both knees down and work on throwing the ball, and that accentuates the hip rotation. We would put the throwing knee down and the other knee up, okay? And again, work on the hip rotation and throwing the ball. Then we would put the non-throwing knee down, again, still working on the hip rotation and throwing the ball. A very fine accuracy drill is to run in place and throw the ball back and forth to each other. So they can run in place and play catch, and then you can also run forward while your partner runs backwards. So you're running, throwing the ball, and following the flight of the ball to practice throwing the ball on the run. And then obviously we would also work on throwing the ball across the field. Now, we put the quarterbacks over here on one hash, we put two quarterbacks, and over here on the other hash, we put another two quarterbacks. And now we'll take the quarterback and have him run sprint out footwork, keep pass footwork, waggle footwork, whatever, and come out of there and throw the ball on the run across to the other hash mark. That quarterback catches the ball, and then he does the same thing. He comes out of there on the run and throws the ball back to that quarterback, and they get themselves a little rotation going. And then after a while, they switch hash marks. Now this quarterback comes over here to the right hash, this quarterback comes over here to that hash, and now they're working on throwing the ball going to the left. Okay, now for an idea of what this looks like, let's go out on the field where we have a quarterback waiting to show you some of these drills. We have Carson Clower from Hollister High School in California, and he's going to demonstrate some quarterback techniques for us today. Carson's a quarterback and a very good one, okay? So we're going to make him a little bit of a star here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to demonstrate our arm loosening drills. This is part of the quarterback's individual practice, and this is a very important phase so that the quarterback has his arm ready to go, and that when the time comes for him to actually throw the ball in a full speed live drill, his arm is loose, he's ready to go, and there's not going to be any difficulties with sore arms and so forth. Okay? Before we even get to actually throwing the ball, we're going to talk a little bit about how to actually hold the football, okay? When we coach our quarterbacks, we want to make sure that when they bring the ball up, if you'll turn, Carson, like you're going to throw the football, we want to bring the ball up into the ready position. As we bring it up into the ready position, we want to point the nose of the football out. We don't want to have the nose of the football down, because as you look, when you point the nose of the football out, the first thing that happens is the elbow comes up. And now as the ball gets released, we get more arm extension and we get more distance on our throw. Okay, so even the mere fact of holding the football is coached for us. We don't want to have anything that's not detail oriented, okay? Now, the first drill we're going to do is just simply, we're just going to play catch with another quarterback. We'll have another quarterback about 10 yards away. And we're going to just step and throw the football, okay? Release the football, step and throw it. Okay, very nicely done. All right, one more time. Just step and throw, okay? Now, some other drills that you'll see a lot of quarterback coaches use is they'll use the knee drills, okay? So we want to get down. We want to have both of our knees down on the ground. Okay, we want to hold the ball in our ready position with the nose of the ball out. And now just throw the football, and now we're using all arm strength right here, and we're taking the legs out of the throw, okay? We're emphasizing just the arm movement, okay? All right. Now the next one we want to have is our throwing knee down and our non-throwing knee up, okay? Which again does the same thing. Now we guide the football with a little bit more body position. Go ahead. Well done. Okay, Carson, one more time. Okay. Now one more time with the throwing knee up and the non-throwing knee down. Okay. Now what this emphasizes is hip rotation. So now we're going to get good hip rotation into the football. Okay. Hold the ball into the ready position and go ahead and finish down across the body. Good job. Okay. All right, let's stand up. All right, now, one of the favorite drills that we have for our quarterbacks to loosen his arm up is an accuracy drill. This is purely for accuracy. And what we want Carson to do here now is we want him to run in place. So he's going to run in place with the football, get the football in the ready position as he's running in place, and then go ahead and deliver the ball. By running in place and delivering the ball, this simulates throwing on a run. We want to have the nose of the ball go to the nose of our target. So we want to put the ball right on the nose. All right, go ahead, Carson, run in place and throw the ball. There you go, good job. Good job. Okay, run in place, throw the ball. All right, great job. Okay, so that's a nice little loosening drill that you can do. It emphasizes accuracy. All right, now to continue with our theme of throwing the ball on the run, now we're going to have the quarterback back up a little bit, okay? And he's going to actually run forward for about 3 or 4 yards and release the ball while he's actually running. Now his partner back there 10 yards away, as Carson runs forward, his partner will back up. So they maintain a relative distance of about 10 yards the whole time. Okay, let's try that, Carson. Let's back up a little bit. All right, run forward at 3 or 4 steps, release the ball. There you go, good. Now his partner will turn around and do the same thing by running forward and throwing the ball back to him. That's another quarterback back there playing catch with him. All right, Carson, let's try it again. All right, run forward, ball up in the ready position, and deliver the ball. There you go. As we do this now, we want to throw the football and then chase the flight of the ball. So we're throwing the ball on the run, and we're going to follow the ball right to the target. Okay, one more time, Carson. Let's try one more. Okay. All right, very good. Well done. All right, now this next drill simulates throwing on the run. And what we're going to do here is we're going to throw the ball coming off of a keep pass fake or a waggle fake, get our shoulders turned around so that our shoulders are square to the target, and we're actually going to throw the ball from one hash mark to the other. So we can demonstrate right now, we'll demonstrate any of the footworks that we want to look at. We can demonstrate a sprint out technique, we can demonstrate a keep pass technique, we can demonstrate a waggle technique. But the point here is, as we roll out, okay, for a right-handed quarterback to throw to his left, what we want to do is we want to take the right arm and wrench that elbow to the middle of the back. And as you see, when he wrenches that elbow to the middle of the back, as he runs to the target, his shoulders square right to the target, and he can throw the ball and follow it just like we did in the earlier warm-up drills. Okay? So if Carson, if we could have you come back and let's try this. Okay, so Carson's going to demonstrate waggle footwork. He's going to come out to his left, which is the hardest throw. Now, after a few throws going from his left, throwing the ball across the field, then we'll switch hash marks and go from the right and throw the ball across the field to his right hand. But we want to make sure that we work harder throwing the ball to the left for a right-handed quarterback, because everybody says that's unnatural. Truth of the matter is, if the correct technique is used, this is actually an easier throw than throwing the ball to the right for a right-handed quarterback. So right now we're going to have Carson demonstrate waggle footwork, attack to the left, throw the ball from one hash to the other about 10 yards up the field, but the key coaching point is to get the right elbow wrenched to the middle of the back so that the shoulders will turn to the target. All right, Carson, let's show him some footwork. Nicely done, okay? Well done. Let's show it one more time. Okay. Good job. Two very important coaching points. One, wrenching the elbow to the middle of the back to turn the shoulders to the target. And two, throwing the ball and following the path of the ball. All right, now let's move to this hash mark and throw across the other way. Okay, to set up this drill, you're going to have one or two of your quarterbacks on this hash, and they're going to roll and throw that way. And then you have another quarterback or two on the other hash, and they're going to roll and throw back this way. So that way it's just a constant circle, and the ball keeps moving, okay? So now we're going to demonstrate the waggle to the right with the same fundamentals, okay? We're going to get the ball up in the throwing position, throw the ball, and follow the flight of the football, okay? All right, ready? Go. Well done, Carson. Good. The second part of the quarterback's practice may be the most important part of it all, and that is the hand-ups. Now, that's a special term that we have in the wing tee, basically for the quarterback-center exchange. Some people call it a quarterback-center snap. We call it the hand-up because of the way we want the ball to come up. There's a three-part progression to this teaching progression, okay? The first part is the fit. Now, in the fit drill, we want the quarterback to hand the ball to the center, and we want him to hand it to him in the exact position that he would like to have it when the center brings that ball up to him. The next part of the progression is the 6-inch snap, and on the 6-inch snap, we want the center to take the ball about 6 inches away from the quarterback's hand and keep snapping it up. Okay? Now the quarterback holds his hand out in place where he wants it under the center, and he just talks to the center and tells him if it's too far back, too far to the left, too far to the right, real good, whatever it might be. And the center just keeps snapping it up. He doesn't let go of the ball. He just snaps it up to the quarterback's hands and puts it exactly where he wants it. Okay? The third part of it is the full snap. Now we're going to have the center take the ball all the way from the ground to the quarterback's hands, and the quarterback is now going to actually take the ball from the center. And obviously, the next phase of that would be to snap and step, because we don't want the center to just snap the ball and stand there. That's not what he's going to do in the game. Neither is the quarterback going to accept the snap and then just stand there. So once they get the full snap and feel what it's like to have the full snap, the next obvious part of that progression is to take the full snap and take their first step. So in that case, the center fires out, takes his first step like he's going to block a nose guard, and the quarterback pushes away from the center like he's going to explode off the line of scrimmage and hand the ball to one of his backs. Okay? So that's the quarterback-center exchange. That's the three-part progression. Now let's go out to the field and let's look exactly at how we're going to coach this. We call it a hand-up for a reason. It's not the same as everybody else's snap. Everything we do in terms of the quarterback-center exchange is built for speed, and we bring the ball straight up, and I'm going to demonstrate a few of those things. Now, to do this, what I'd like is I would like a volunteer and I want the volunteer to be somebody who's never snapped before in their life, because I want you to learn that you can take your absolute best offensive lineman and turn him into your center even if he's never snapped one time in his life. So we want our very best football player at that center position. So we're going to bring Carson's dad, Craig, on right now. And Carson's dad, Craig, has never snapped a football before in his life, so he's the ideal candidate right now to demonstrate on. Okay, now, here's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to talk about the fundamentals of the quarterback-center exchange. So if we could have Craig step over here, and Craig, if you could straddle this line, and we're going to start with the ball right here on that line. So that's going to be like the line of scrimmage, and that white line right there will be the midline, okay? Now, when we snap the football, when we teach the snap, we have a three-part progression. We have a period in our practice that's actually called hand-up period. That period usually lasts for anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes, depending on how much time you want to commit to it. Early in the season, there's a little bit more time, obviously, and later in the season, there would be a little bit less. All right, The three-part progression to this center quarterback exchange is one called the fit, okay? Now, before we explain the fit, I want to demonstrate what we would like to have happen. We want the football to come from the ground straight up and not turn. Now that's a little different from what most people do. Most people want the ball to come up and turn sideways, and the quarterback puts his hand like this and the ball comes straight up into a hand, and then he turns it again. So the ball turns from the ground to the quarterback's hand, and then again it comes from the quarterback's hand, turns again, and comes to his belt buckle. Well, that's twice the ball has to turn, and that makes the whole operation slower because the ball does turn. What we would like is we would like the ball to come from the ground, straight up on the same angle, and then straight to the quarterback's belt buckle without ever turning at all. Now that's a little thing, but every little thing helps. Little details lead to big plays, okay? And that's when you don't turn the football, the ball comes up with more speed. Everything that we do in this offense is built and created to have speed, 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 speed. The wing T gets criticized all the time for not being fast enough, not having speed, being lateral. All those criticisms are hogwash. This offense can be done with a lot of speed, okay? And so the center quarterback exchange is the first part of that, okay? Now, what we're going to want to do is we're going to have the ball, we're going to have the quarterback place the ball under the center's tail in the position that he wants it, and that's what we call the fit drill. Before we do that, we're going to show you exactly how we want the quarterback to hold his hand. So Carson, if you could step over here. If you take the quarterback's hand, okay, we want to put his fingers straight up to the sky, okay? Now we want to turn his hand so that the V between his thumb and his forefinger is the part that's pointing straight up to the sky. Now, as we do that, now we're going to bring that hand down so that that hand is exactly parallel to the ground with that thumb and forefinger parallel to the ground and facing forward, okay? That's the position we want the quarterback's hand in when he accepts the football. We want the ball to come up with the laces right across his fingers, okay? And we want the ball to come up just like that in the quarterback's hand. The quarterback will take the back half of the football from the center, and then he'll snap it straight to his belt buckle with the ball, with the long axis of the ball parallel to the ground and the elbows in tight and the ball right next to the belt buckle, okay? And that's how the quarterback accepts the ball from the center. So Craig, if we could have you over here again. Now if we could have you in a nice stance, in a nice wide base, okay, comfortable, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to have Carson, we're going to have you bend over, okay, and we're going to have Carson place the ball underneath your tail in the exact position that he wants the ball to come up in. Now, as the center, no, you won't take the ball like that. You're going to turn your hand this way. You're going to put your hand on the ball like that, okay? Now take the ball from Carson, bring it, no, just with, there you go, with one hand. Okay, you're going to take the ball from Carson, bring it forward, not to the ground. Well, you can bring it all the way to the ground, that's okay. And now pass it back around to the side. Now give the ball around to the side, back to Carson. Carson, put the ball in your hand the way you want it, okay? Now, hold up, let's not get going too fast here, okay? Let's do it again, okay? You don't want to take the ball like this with the top hand. You want your hand to be facing forward because when the ball comes from the ground, your hand's going to come up just like that, okay? So take the ball from Carson in that very same position. There you go. Now take it down to the ground, okay? Just like that, all right? Now pass it back around to the side. This is called the fit drill, okay? All right? Now actually, once you have taught your quarterbacks how to take the quarterback center exchange, they will be able to coach your snapper better than your coaches can. They'll know exactly how they want the snap, and they'll be able to tell him exactly what he's doing wrong. And you'll see as this progression develops exactly how that works. So let's go around one more time. Okay, place the ball under the center. Okay, there you go. Now, a couple of quick things. Real quick, we want the quarterback stance. We want the quarterback stance to be narrow. So we don't want his feet any further apart between the ankles than much more than that the width of that white striped line, okay? When he gets under the center, we want that nice narrow base. We only want him under the center in terms of how far. We want him wrist deep. A slight bend in the knees, wrist deep under the center. So our quarterback looks just like this, okay? All right, so Carson, as you step under, let's practice your stance and your footwork just as much as the center quarterback exchange. There you go, just like that. Okay, take the ball, pass it around to the side. Okay, Carson, hand him the ball exactly the way you want it. Craig, take the ball to the ground. All right, that's the fit drill. That's part one of the center quarterback exchange. part 2 of this center quarterback exchange progression is called the 6-inch snap. Okay, now Craig, if we could have you come back. Now you're going to hold the ball to start with. Now you know how Carson wants the ball. Okay, you got a good feel for that. You've done that enough times. You know how he wants the ball. Now the second part of this is you're going to take the ball from about 6 inches away and just snap it up. Okay, and then you're going to put it right up there exactly the way Carson showed you he wanted it. Now not yet. Don't do anything yet. Carson, put your hand under. I only want one hand. Okay, good stance like we showed you. Okay, slight knee bend. Okay, back arched. Nice and tall in the saddle. There you go. Don't get down too low. Okay, now, when Craig snaps the ball up on the 6-inch snap, we want Carson to tell him if that snap was good, and if it wasn't good, we want to tell Craig exactly what was wrong with it. Too far to the left, too far to the right, back too far, forward too far, not back far enough. Whatever that comment is, our quarterback has to coach our center now so he gets that ball exactly where we want it, okay? So let's take the ball, Craig, 6 inches away, and let's have you snap it up with a little zip on it into Carson's hand, and Carson's going to talk to you and tell you where he wants it. Go.
A little farther back.
A little farther back, okay? Now, remember this, too. We want to bring the ball directly up. One thing you want to tell your guys when you coach this center quarterback exchange is that the motion the center uses is the same motion he would use to turn a light bulb on down in the basement if he had a cord hanging from that light switch. That cord is going to be pulled straight down like that, and that's the same motion that center is going to use. Boom, just like that. It's like pulling the cord on a light switch, okay? So when you bring the ball up, don't bring the ball up turned that way or turned that way. You want to bring the ball straight up so that the long axis of the ball is parallel to the ground, okay? All right, Carson, get back under there. You say go. Now, we're going to say the word set, okay, and that'll trigger you to snap the ball up.
Set.
Okay, Carson, how was it?
A little far to the left.
A little far to the left, okay? Let's do it again.
Set.
A little bit better?
Yeah.
Okay. Again, bring the ball up flat. Don't turn the ball forward too much, okay?
Set.
A little short?
Yeah.
Okay.
Set. That's good right there.
Pretty good?
Yep.
Now, the other thing that you're noticing that's happening here is you're noticing that the quarterback is taking snaps with one hand. One hand, okay? Now, how does the quarterback feel about that? Well, once he learns that he can take a snap with one hand without even using the other hand, he develops a lot of confidence in between his snap technique and his center snap technique. All right, and that confidence translates to no fumbled snaps on the football field. Okay, now what should happen is that the quarterback should be able to take that ball with one hand and have good security with it. And then when you add the second hand, it's going to make it that much more secure. So it really builds a confidence blanket in the quarterback's mind. Now, the next thing that should happen is as the quarterback takes the football, he wraps the other hand around the fat of the ball and snaps the ball to the belt buckle, just like that. So Carson, let's bring that part into the progression now, okay? All right, 6-inch snap still.
Set.
Good, just like that. That's exactly right. How was the snap?
It's good.
Was good, okay, good. And remember now, we have a man here who's never snapped in his life. So this should reinforce to the coach that you can take any one of your linemen and turn them into a snapper if you coach the techniques correctly. And again, we put our best offensive lineman at the center position. Okay, let's try it again.
Set.
How was the snap?
Good.
Very good. Okay, good. All right, we feel good about that? All right, that's the second part of our quarterback center exchange. Now the final part is the full snap, okay? So now we're going to take the ball all the way from the ground to that same position and bring it up into Carson's hand, okay? All right, let's try that now.
Set.
Okay, very good. How was the snap?
It's good.
Excellent. Okay, so we have a center who's never snapped, snapping perfect snaps, okay? All right, let's try it again.
Set.
Very good. Okay, now, as part of this, okay, we're going to eventually want our centers to not just snap the ball, but snap the ball and take a step because no center stands there on the game day, okay? They need to snap the ball and take a step like they're going to now block a nose guard who's lined up on them. And at the same time, our quarterback's not going to stand there and just look at the ball either. He's going to blast out of there, and he's going to be making his handoffs and his footwork and so forth. So, Craig, we want you to go ahead and snap the ball, Okay, Carson, we want you to take the snap and take one step on the midline, okay? And Craig, you go ahead and take a snap and step one step like you're blocking the nose guard. All right, let's try that.
Set.
Perfect. Okay, good. So when you get to your third part of your progression and we're working on the full snap, now we want to also incorporate the first step by the snapper and the quarterback, okay? All right, one more time. Let's try it one more time.
Set.
Very good. That's outstanding. Well, that concludes part one of our tape on how to coach the quarterbacks in the wing T, and I really hope this helps your program. Hello, my name is Denny Crehan. Today I'm here to talk to you about coaching the wing T quarterback, and this is part two of our presentation. The next phase in the quarterback's development is his footwork, and this is vital to his executing the offense correctly and really vital to the deception that you want to build into your offense. And one of the big reasons for running wing T is because it's so deceptive. So we don't want to lose that deception by having poor footwork by either our quarterbacks or our running backs. Now, this is something that can be really done during kicking periods because a lot of your quarterbacks aren't that involved during kicking. And what you want to do is you want to take backs if you have them, but for sure quarterbacks and maybe even centers, and you want to take them over to the side, to a side of the field that's not being used, and you want to use the sideline, okay? And then you also want to use those yard stripes. So let's say this is the 50-yard line, and there's the 5 and the 0 as it faces the sideline. You want to put your centers and put the ball down right where the sideline meets that yard line, and you want to have the quarterback straddle that line, and that line then indicates the midline that he can use for footwork when he practices his footwork, okay? Now, when we take the quarterbacks over there, we would have as many people involved as possible, center if possible, backs if possible, but for sure the quarterbacks and the quarterback coach. The first play we're going to work on is the buck sweep. And we're going to have that quarterback explode off, take the snap from the center, explode off the line of scrimmage, and work his footwork right on that midline so we can see what kind of precision that he has. In all of these footwork drills, we want to start out by exploding for one step. Take the first step and see how fast can you explode away from that center. And take a good first step. It's a full speed drill, but it's only one step. You're going to step and stop. Then we want to go 2 steps. Explode as fast as you can for 2 steps and stop. Then we want to go 3 steps. Then we want to go 4 steps, and finally we want to take the thing and run it all the way out. Okay? And by doing that, they learn. Okay? And we would take the plays that are core to the wing T offense and make sure that we drill those the most. The buck sweep, the buck off tackle play, which I call 22 and 28, the buck trap, which is the fullback up the middle, 24 and 26. The waggle, which is off the buck series, 21 and 29 waggle. The trap option, which is part of the buck series as well, 61 and 69 trap option. The trap option pass. The fullback belly, which is 83 and 87. This is the circular belly where the fullback takes lead, crossover, square up footwork. The belly keep pass. The tackle trap counter that gets handed off to the halfback. The counter bootleg where you fake the counter to the halfback and attack the flank with a run pass option, the down play, and finally the down option play. Now let's go out to the field and let's watch how we coach these footwork drills with these quarterbacks. Now when you coach the quarterback in the wing T, the footwork is extremely important. It's very important for this quarterback to be precise so that you have the deception in the backfield that you want for these football plays, okay? All right, now we're going to start with what most people want to see first, and that's the buck series, okay? So we're going to start with 21 and 29 sweep, okay? A 21 and 29 sweep is what most people call the buck sweep, okay? The first play we'll run is 21, all right? Now, when we're handing the ball off to the halfbacks, the quarterback owns the midline. And when we practice these footwork drills in our practice plan, we want to use lines on the field to demonstrate these things. Okay, now what you have right here is the sideline, and you have a yard line that intersects that sideline. Okay, so we want, just like we practice the quarterback center exchange, the hand up period from the sideline to the quarterback, we want to do the same with the footwork. Okay, we want to practice on the line so we can actually see the quarterback step on the line. Okay, so like I said, when we run 21 and 29 sweep, the quarterback owns the midline, and the fullback's job is to attack the backside foot of the center and get out of the quarterback's way for the most part, but he wants to be nice and tight. We want the quarterback to be nice and tight. As the quarterback takes the snap, he's going to reverse pivot. On his first step, we want the quarterback to pivot off, say we're going to run 21 sweep, so he's going to pivot off his right foot and step with his left foot. Okay, so now, Carson, we want a nice loose ankle. So as you pivot, what we want to have happen is we want to have the weight transferred to the balls of your right foot, so that when you pivot, this foot pivots as well. Okay, so the first step looks like this. Your back foot is on the midline, and your front foot actually pivots around. So let's take just one step. All right, this is 21 sweep. All right. Okay, now stop right there. You see what happened to this foot? This foot did not get turned all the way, so therefore your shoulders won't get turned all the way. So let's try it one more time, and now let's get that foot turned all the way so that your toes are pointing to the other sideline. There you go. Good. Now, you can see that when the quarterback gets turned all the way like this, his shoulders are facing away from the line of scrimmage. The ball is completely hidden. And we want your hands on the back. There you go, just like that. Your hands will be on the fat of the football in the back half, and the ball will be placed with the nose of the ball in the belt buckle and the long axis parallel to the ground. Elbows in tight to add the deception to the play. Okay? All right, let's try that one more time. All right, now, Carson, what we want you to do is not only explode and pivot your feet, but we want you to gain some ground with that first step. Really push away from the center and gain some ground with the first step. Set. Just like that, okay? Good. Now, the sooner you can get, come on back around, Carson, all right? The sooner you can get this part of the pivot down, the better off it's going to be for you. So you want to get your weight transferred here, and you want to have that foot look just like that as you pivot, okay? Let's try it one more time, okay? Just the first step. On set now, okay? Set. Okay, not bad, not bad. You take a little bit more of a step, and you won't feel that little bit of shakiness in terms of your balance. Okay, now that's the first step for the sweep. Now, the second step is also on the midline. So now we're going to take 2 steps. So when I say set, take 2 steps, okay? Set. Good. Now, don't be afraid to go ahead and extend that foot. Extend that second foot. There you go, just like that. Okay, so that's the second step. Let's try that one more time. We're running a 21 sweep here. This is a 2-step part of the progression. Okay, we'll take the ball from the center, and we'll take 2 steps on the midline. Sit. There you go, good. Now, as the second step hits the ground, the eyes are now looking at the left halfback who's crossing the backfield. So when the left halfback gets to this position, he's going to accept the exchange from the quarterback, okay? Now, we coached our halfbacks to take handoffs with the inside thumb down as opposed to the inside elbow up. The reason for that is because as we take the handoff, if we run the counter crisscross, we can take the ball and push it right back out to the other halfback rather than taking the handoff like this and having to turn the ball over like that. So that eliminates fumbles and makes it a safer play. So all the halfback handoffs are one-handed handoffs, okay? And the halfback has the inside thumb down with the outside hand, with the base of the hand right next to the belly button and the fingers pointing straight out from the belly, okay? So it looks like this right here. As the quarterback puts the ball in the halfback's pocket, he lays the ball on that hand right there, which is the table hand, and this hand right here is the stopper hand, and he takes the ball just like that, okay? That's how the halfback accepts the handoff. So that's how the quarterback will put the ball in the halfback's pocket on the 21 sweep. So now, on the third step of the buck sweep, okay, the quarterback takes the 2 steps. All right, let's take 2 steps and stop, Carson. 1, 2. The third step now crosses over on a 45-degree angle. There you go, just like that. And that's the step that the handoff is actually made to the halfback, okay? So the ball's going to be placed right there. Now, at this point in time, the halfback runs the sweep. The quarterback, who does not have the ball anymore, now attacks the flank, And what we want here is we want the front arm to pump back and forth, okay? To add deception to the play, we want the backhand to be placed right in this pocket right here where the pants crease, okay? And we want just like that, okay? We want the palm down and the back of the fist facing out, and we want the eyes now turned up the field at the free safety, okay? So as you attack the flank, Carson, pump that arm. There you go, just like that, okay? And that's how the quarterback executes his footwork for this buck sweep, okay? All right, let's try it going the other way now. Okay, now we're going to execute 29 sweep, which is the right halfback running to the left. So now Carson's going to pivot off the left foot and step with the right foot. All right, let's take the first 2 steps. Set. Okay, now the third step crosses over on a 45-degree angle. That's where the handoff gets made to the right halfback. And now the quarterback pumps the near arm, keeps the backside arm into the crease of the pants, and carries out his waggle fake. The next play in this progression is the buck off tackle play, which we call 22 and 28, okay? We want this play to look exactly like the sweep. The halfback is still going to carry the ball, but now instead of running around the end on a sweep play, he's going to turn it up quick off tackle. The way we coach this football play is for the halfback, we want the halfback to cross over like he does on the sweep, take the second step like he does on the sweep, and now head for the off tackle hole downhill. When he does that now, he's going to take an inside handoff from the quarterback and run right to the off tackle hole. The quarterback's footwork should be almost exactly the same as the buck sweep. So he's going to step just like the sweep on the first step. So his first step, he pivots off the right foot, okay, takes the first step on the midline. Okay, come on back, Carson. On the second step, he's good. This time we'll go 2 steps. On the second step, he's still going to be on the midline, just like he is in the buck sweep. The third step, he's still going to cross over on the 45-degree angle, but now he's going to hand the ball off inside rather than outside. So let's demonstrate 2 steps. Ready? Set. 1, 2. All right, now, this is how the quarterback looks after the second step. The third step crosses over on a 45-degree angle, just like the sweep. Now, at this point in time, the halfback has crossed over, taken the second step, and now started off tackle, so there's your handoff right there. Okay, so the ball is handed off, and now Carson goes ahead and continues the waggle fake just like he would do in normal 21 and 29 sweep action. Okay? All right. Very good. That's 22, which is the off tackle play, the buck off tackle play. Okay? And that could be blocked a number of different ways like we mentioned inside. All right, now let's run the same play with the left halfback carrying the ball. With the right halfback carrying the ball going to the left. So this would be 28. All right, let's take 2 steps on the midline on set. Set. 1, 2. All right, on the third step, we cross over for a 45-degree angle. Okay, at that point in time, the halfback has taken 2 steps. So the halfback crossed over, took another step, and now he heads to the off tackle hole, and there's your handoff right there. Nice tight handoffs, okay? All right, another coaching point that we like to make with the quarterbacks is never to reach the ball. Any quarterback who has to reach the ball is taking bad footwork, or his ball carrier is taking bad footwork. We want all these handoffs to be made from forearms length away. So as Carson hands the ball off, his elbows are nice and tight to his side. He's got his hand on the back half of the football, and as he makes the handoff, all he does is reach the ball that far. Take your left hand off the ball, right there. Okay, that's as far as he wants to reach the ball. This is accurate. That's wrong. Accurate, wrong. If he has to reach the ball, somebody's footwork is off. We want to be able to hand the ball off from forearms length away, just like we're dealing cards, like a card dealer dealing cards. Okay? Now we want to demonstrate the waggle play both ways. Okay? So the next play is the waggle. Now, the other thing that's common in this 20 series is you see people fake the ball to the fullback. We don't coach that. We don't advocate that. We advocate a proximity fake. So as the fullback comes through the line, all right, when the quarterback owns that midline like he does when he's handing the ball off to the halfback, the fullback is taught to be nice and tight to the quarterback and fake over an imaginary football and make sure that there's no collision with the quarterback. That's his job. The quarterback owns the midline. The fullback does not. Okay? So as we demonstrate the waggle here, we're going to anticipate that the fullback is faking over an imaginary line, okay, and the quarterback does not fake to him, and the quarterback owns the midline, okay? So let's go ahead and do the 21 and 29 waggle, okay? So right now we're going to run 21 waggle, which means we're going to fake the sweep to the right, we're going to fake to the left halfback, run and sweep to the right, and the quarterback's going to keep the ball running out here to the left, okay? Now the footwork is the same as the sweep for the first 3 steps, okay? So now we're going to take the first 2 steps on the midline, and the third step will cross over on a 45-degree angle. All right, Carson, let's try it. Ready? Set. Right there, okay? Now when Carson gets to this point, okay, the halfback would have crossed over, taken a second step, and now if he was going to receive the sweep, the ball would be placed in his pocket right there, okay? When it's time for the waggle, this is the only play we want the quarterback to 2-hand fake. Okay, now hold that ball. There you go. We want a 2-hand fake to the halfback, stick the ball in there, okay? The halfback now continues his fake, and the quarterback continues to attack the flank. Now, just like we did before, we want the quarterback now to transfer the ball, transfer the grip of the ball to the top half of the ball, and now place the ball in the crease of the pants with his left hand and pump his right hand as he attacks the flank. No, right here in the crease of the pants. Right there, okay? Here, let me show you, Carson. Okay, the ball would look like this. We get the ball into basically as close to a passing grip as we can, and now the ball gets placed just like this in the crease of the pants, okay? So you're going to cover it up, you're going to secure it with that pocket right there that's formed by the crease of your pants, and then you're going to attack the flank just like this, okay? So let's try that one more time. Let's come out of there, okay? Let me see how you're going to put that ball in there. Okay? Yeah, just like that. As close to a passing grip as you can. You're going to secure the ball into that crease right there, and then you're going to pump that arm right there just like that as you attack the flank. Okay, so let's take a look at it now. Let's watch Carson do his steps. Okay? All right, on set, we'll go through the full thing, the full play. Okay? 21 waggle. All right? Set. 1, 2, cross over on the third one. Okay, now attack the flank. There you go. The ball is hidden from the defense. The front arm is pumping, and the ball is hidden from the defense. Okay? All right, let's do it going the other way, Carson. Okay? First step, explode out of there on the midline. Second step on the midline. Third step crosses over on a 45-degree angle, and then we attack the flank. All right? Set! Just like that. There you go. And then when the time comes, you get the ball up into the passing grip. Okay? All right, very good. The last play in this sweep series is our fullback trap. Okay? Now, here's a situation where the fullback could possibly own the midline. He might not, but he might. All right? And the way this works is if there is a man directly on the center, then the fullback is going to have the leeway to cut either way. So in this particular case, the fullback will own the midline. Okay? If there is nobody on the center, if the nose is offset either way or it's an even defense, now the quarterback goes back to owning the midline because the fullback will attack the backside foot of the center. All right, so now we're going to hand the ball to the fullback. All right, normally we hand the ball to the fullback with 2 hands and we hand the ball to the halfbacks with 1. Okay, this is one situation that's an exception to that. Okay, in the buck trap, we're going to give the ball to the fullback with just 1 hand. The first one we'll demonstrate here is when the fullback owns the midline and the quarterback has to get off of it. So in other words, right now we have a head-up nose guard on the center. So that's an odd defense. When it's an odd defense, the fullback runs right down the midline and the quarterback is going to hand him the ball and he's going to actually reverse pivot a little bit beyond the midline. So in this particular case, the quarterback still pivots off the right foot. The fullback is going to attack here, right down the midline. The quarterback's going to pivot off his right foot, step with his left foot, but come a little bit beyond the midline, giving the fullback a chance to come right down the midline. So the fullback is going to run right down the midline and accept the handoff just like this. Okay? All right, so Carson, take the first step. Now, when we do this, as Carson takes the first step, pivot off that back foot. Okay, make sure that foot's pivoted around. Okay, as you begin to take the second step, that's the time when the ball will be handed to the fullback. Now as that foot comes through, that hand is right there. That's as far as the hand has to go to hand the ball off to the fullback. All right, and then after that, Carson will take the second step on the midline, the third step on a 45-degree angle, and then continue to fake the waggle. I'm sorry, going that way, okay? So we're running, this would be 24 guard trap, where the fullback starts to the left foot of the center and then cuts to the right. In this case, it's an odd defense, so the fullback is straight down the midline, okay? All right, so if we could walk through this, Carson. All right, I'll be the fullback. You take one step and I'll take one step. Boom, there's the first step right there. As the second step begins, the handoff is occurring. Both shoulders are nice and tight, okay? Now the fullback has the football. He makes the read on the center, and the quarterback continues his faking, okay? From here, the faking is exactly the same as it would be on the buck sweep. So let's demonstrate that one more time with no fullback, Carson. All right, this would be 24 guard trap against an odd defense. Come across the midline just a little bit. All right, take 2 steps and stop, okay? Set. 1, 2. Okay, now remember, you're going to hand the ball off in the middle of that second step, okay? On the third step, we're going to cross over. Okay, the balls are gone now, so you can drop the ball, okay? And then from there, after that, we're going to go ahead and fake the waggle like before. Okay? All right, good. All right, now that's 24 guard trap against an odd defense. Now let's do 24 guard trap against an even defense, okay? Now when it's even, the only time that the quarterback does not own the midline is when the fullback is getting the ball against an odd defense. In all other cases, the quarterback owns the midline. So if it's an even defense, the quarterback's first step will be on the midline, and the fullback's aim point would be the backside foot of the center. So when he's running guard trap to the right, he's going to aim for the left foot of the center. Okay, so now let's demonstrate that again. I'll be the fullback. Okay, and let's just take one step, okay?
Even or odd?
It's an even defense. Even defense, so you're going to step right on the midline. The fullback will step beyond it. All right, sit. Boom, there's the first step. Get your back foot pivoted around. Second step, the handoff occurs. Boom, right there. All right, third step, fullback finishes the play, and the quarterback executes his waggle fake. Okay? All right, now let's do it going the other way. Okay, now we're going to go 26 guard trap. Let's go odd defense first, so the fullback owns the midline. Now you're going to reverse, the quarterback will reverse pivot off his left foot. Okay, let's just do it with one step, Carson. 26 guard trap now against an odd defense, just for one step. Okay, on set. Set. Boom. All right, there's the first step. Second step, boom, right there. Fullback gets the ball going right down the midline. Quarterback takes the third step on a 45-degree angle and then fakes the waggle. Okay? All right. Now one more time, 26 guard trap against an even defense. So now the quarterback owns the midline again. Okay? All right, fullback is going to step with his right foot with his left foot for the right foot of the center. Okay, here we go. Let's take one step. Set. Boom. There's the first step. Second step, the handoff is made. The quarterback's on the midline. Third step, the fullback walks it out, and the quarterback finishes his waggle footwork. So pretty much the 20 series is all pretty much the same for that quarterback, okay? The first step explodes out of there to the midline. The second step is also to the midline. The third step crosses over on a 45-degree angle, and then from there on out, we're attacking the flank either with the ball on the waggle or without the ball faking the waggle. And that's pretty much how the 20 series works. To drill this package, what you want to do is you want to start by exploding for one step. Take the snap and explode for one step. And get the quarterbacks out of there as fast as they can. Explode out of there for one step. Then you want to carry it to be a two-step drill. Boom, explode the quarterback out of there for 2 steps. 1, 2, and hold. How much depth can you get with 2 steps? How fast can you get out of there with 2 steps? Explode for 2 steps. Then you want to take the third step into it, then the fourth step, and then finally the whole thing, okay? So as you do these plays, I would anticipate, or I would recommend to you that you do them in progression. Start with just 1 step, build to 2, build to 3, then build to the whole thing. The next phase that we'll go to is the trap option package. Okay, those of you that run the trap option, this will be very relevant. If you don't, maybe this will pique your interest a little bit. But the trap option package is part of the buck package, okay? Now, it's a little bit different because what's different is that the quarterback, instead of faking the waggle on the 20 series, is going to now turn and come downhill in the direction of the play and fake trap option or run trap option, okay? So the first play we're going to work on is the trap option itself. All right, now, if we run 61 trap option, that's the same football play for the first 2 steps as 21 sweep, okay? So the quarterback would reverse pivot, pivoting off his right foot and exploding on the midline for 1 step, okay? Take the ball to the belt buckle as you take your first step, Carson. All right, here we go. 61 trap option on set. Set. Boom. There's the first, just exactly like the buck sweep. Now in this case, the quarterback owns the midline. If the fullback is going to aim for the backside foot of the center, and he'll fake over an imaginary ball. The quarterback does not fake to him. Okay? All right, let's go back. Now let's take 2 steps. Okay? Now we're going to take 2 steps on the midline. All right? Explode for 2 steps. Set. 1, 2. Boom. Now, all that is the same as the buck sweep. Okay, when the quarterback gets to this position right here, it's the same as the buck sweep. It looks exactly the same as the sweep to the defense. Here's where the play starts to take a little bit of a turn that's different. Okay, on the second step, when we run the trap option, we want the quarterback to now put his chin on this play side shoulder. So he's looking at the defensive end, the man he has to pitch off of. As he takes the second step, when his foot hits the ground, we would like his toes to actually turn this way a little bit. So he's still on the midline, but he's toed into the turn just a little, so that makes the pivot easy. All right, now, the third step, he's going to pivot off of that back foot, take his front foot, and start downhill on a 45-degree angle, a little bit more downhill, Carson. There you go, just like that. And now he's going to attack the pitch keys inside shoulder. So if I'm the third man on the defense, and he's pitching off of me, he wants to come downhill, attack my inside shoulder, and make this guy make a decision, okay? It's a great conflict for your buck package, okay? So let's try that again, Carson. Let's take 2 full steps this time, okay, and stop. Now let's get your chin on your shoulder and your toes pointed, your toes turned in just a little. All right, set. 1, 2. There you go, just like that. Okay, good. All right, come on back. Now let's do the third step. Let's add the third step to it, okay? Set. 1, 2, 3. Downhill on the third step. Okay, good. Just a little bit more downhill. There you go, just like that. All right, now let's do the whole thing. Okay? Sit. 1, 2, downhill, and now he's going to attack off the defensive end's inside shoulder. Okay? All right. That's the trap option play. That's 61 trap option going to the right. 69 trap option would be going to the left. All right, now let's try going to the left. This time we're going to pivot off the left foot, step on the midline with the right foot. Okay, 1 step only. Sit. Right there, good. Okay, all right, come on back. Okay, now let's go 2 steps. Sit. 1, 2, good. Second step, the toes are turned in and the chin's on the shoulder. Let's do this now taking 3 steps. Let's take 2 steps on the midline and then start downhill on the third step and make sure we're coming downhill on a 45-degree angle. All right, sit. 1, 2, third step. Okay, now you see what's happening right here is Carson, as Carson's taking the second step, his second step is good, but the third step is dragging up here past the second one, okay? What we want is, we want the third step we want you to pivot off that foot, and we want that third step to come downhill just a little bit more. Let's try that one more time. Okay, let's get the third step. Sit. 1, 2, down. There you go, perfect. That's it, just like that. Okay, good job, good job. All right, and then from there you take it all the way downhill and option that defensive end for the keeper of the pitch. Okay, now that's the trap option play. All right, the companion play to the trap option is the trap option pass, and that footwork is going to be executed the same way. Okay, so now the quarterback's going to take 2 steps on the midline, toe into the second step, put the chin on the shoulder on the second step, start downhill on the third step. All those fundamentals are going to be exactly the same, but as the quarterback comes downhill on the third step, now the ball is up into a passing grip and ready to be thrown either to the slant or to the flare. Okay, so let's do the trap option pass. Let's just take the first step on the midline. Okay, all right, we're going to go 61 trap option, so we're coming this way. All right, so you're going to pivot your right foot and step with your left foot. Okay, set. Boom, first step only. Okay, good. All right, come on back. Let's do 2 steps. All right, remember now on the second step, we're going to toe in and turn the chin to the shoulder. Set. 1, 2, there you go, just like that, good. All right, let's try now with the third step added in. Okay, now on the third step, remember, we want to bring the foot on a downhill angle, okay? All right, let's go. Here we go with the third step. Sit. 1, 2. There you go. Nicely done. Nicely done. Now, right there, coaching point there is now you want the quarterback to transfer the ball as much to a passing grip as he can, and now get the ball up here as he's coming downhill ready to throw. He can pop the ball right in the seam, either to the slant or the flaring halfback. Okay, good. Come on back, Carson. Let's try one more time. Let's do the whole thing. All right, 2 steps on the midline and downhill with the ball in the passing grip. Sit. 1, 2. There you go. Well done. Well done. It's exactly how it should look. All right, let's try going to the left. This would be 69, trap option pass. First step is right on the midline. You're going to pivot off of the, let's see. Yeah, pivot off the left foot, right? Step with the right foot and pivot with the left. Okay, first step only. Sit. There you go, just like that. Okay, good. Now let's explode for 2 steps. Sit. 1, 2. There you go. Second step, toed in, chin on the shoulder. Well done. All right, let's do it for 3 steps now. Take the third step downhill. Okay. Sit. 1, 2. Third step downhill, ball in the passing grip. Well done. Carson's a quick study here. All right, let's do the whole thing. Okay, come on downhill with the ball in the passing grip, ready to throw. Sit. 1, 2. Downhill. There you go, just like that. Okay, well done, Carson. Now, that's the 6 basic buck plays in the offense, okay? Now we want to start talking about some of the belly stuff. All right. Now, the first belly play is the belly cross block to the fullback, okay? On this play now, the fullback is going to take a circular path. All right, so our fullback, his first step, our fullback's first step will be a lead step. He's going to gain a little bit of ground toward the line of scrimmage with his toes pointing north and south and his shoulders square to the line. His second step is going to cross over. All right, again, his toes are going to be pointing north and south and his shoulders are still going to be square to the line. On the third step, he's going to square himself up. Again, toes pointing north and south, shoulders square to the line. He'll receive the handoff with his inside elbow up, and then he'll have the ball fairly deep in the backfield, and he'll be able to read and select an opening, okay? Each step for the fullback gains about 6 inches toward the line of scrimmage. So the first step is a lead step where the heels replace the toes. The second step crosses over. Again, the heels replace the toes. On the third step, he squares up. Again, the heels replace the toes. So on each of those steps, he's moving toward the line of scrimmage a little bit, but not too fast. Do not abort the footwork as a fullback because you'll mess up your quarterback. All right, now, the quarterback. This play is called 83 cross block, okay? It's our belly play to the right. The quarterback, when he accepts the snap, is going to reverse pivot off of that right foot and reverse pivot about 60 degrees past the midline. And if you use a clock, this would be about 5 o'clock, okay? So he's going to take his first step just a little beyond the midline. All right, he's going to pivot off. He's going to pivot off of that right foot just like he did in the Buck series. His foot's going to get pivoted all the way around so his shoulders face that way. So Carson, you need to bring your right foot right to about here, okay? All right, so let's do that now. On set, let's take the first step. Set. Boom, just the one step. Okay, let's try it one more time. Leave your back foot in place because I want to see if it pivots. Okay, set. Very well done. That's how it should look right there. That's the first step in the belly. All right, now, for the quarterback, this is an extremely important coaching point. As he takes that first step, the fullback is going to be here. He's going to take the open step or the lead step. All right, now, on the second step, when the fullback crosses over, okay, we want the quarterback now to take his second step for the tail of the fullback, right here. Okay, and then as they take the third step, the ball is placed with two hands in the fullback's pocket, okay, and then the quarterback takes his third step behind the fullback so that if the fullback has to cut back, he has a clear path to do that and he doesn't trip on the quarterback's legs, okay? So now let's take 2 steps. Take the second step, all right, and the second step will aim for the tail of the fullback, all right, and I'll be the fullback for you, okay? I'm going to call this out. We're going to bird dog this, means we're going to take 1 step at a time. So on set, you take the first step only, all right? Set, boom. Now on 2, you take the second step, 2, right there. All right, now on 3, take the third step behind the fullback as he squares up. Boom, right there. Okay, and that's how the belly should look, just like that. Again, forearms length handoffs. Don't reach the football as a quarterback. All right? So let's do this again now. Let's take 3 steps. We'll bird dog them. We'll count them out. 1, 2, 3. Okay? Here we go. Set. 2, 3. Walk it out. Just like that. Okay? That's what the fullback belly play should look like. Okay? The quarterback wants to get the ball to the fullback as deep as he can in the backfield. All right? This is 83 cross block. Now let's have the quarterback just do that by yourself. Okay? 1 step only. Okay? Set. Very well done. All right, come on back. Now let's go 2 steps. Set. 1, 2. There you go. Good. All right, now come on back. Let's go 3 steps. Set. 1, 2, 3. Good. Now, there's where the ball is handed off to the fullback. 2-hand handoff. Okay, we want a 2-hand handoff to the fullback. Now drop the ball, Carson. Okay, now from here, we want to do the same thing we did on the waggle. We want to put the hand in the crease of the pants, pump the arm, but now we're going to fake the keep pass as we attack the flank. Okay? Fake the keep pass. All right, good. Come on back, Carson. Let's try it one more time, and let's do the whole thing. Okay? You can drop the ball where you would hand off to the fullback, and then go ahead and attack the flank on the keep pass. Set. Well done. That's how it should look, just like that. Okay? All right, good job, Carson. All right, now let's try it going to the left. Okay? All right, now, first step is going to be slightly beyond the midline. Now, if you're using a clock, it would be somewhere around 7 o'clock. Okay? First step only. Sit. Good, well done. Notice that Carson is pivoting the back foot, stepping beyond the midline about 60 degrees. We're about to 7 o'clock. All right, come on back. All right, now I'll be the fullback for you. Okay, now we're going to take 2 steps. Okay, all right, on set, take the first step and hold it. Sit. There's the first step. 2. There's the second step. Here's where the handoff starts to occur. 3, step behind the fullback. 4, walk it out. Just like that. Okay, well done. That's 87 cross block or the belly play to the left. All right, let's try that again, 1 step at a time now. Let's just do the first step. Okay, sit. Well done. Okay, come on back. Now let's do the second step. Sit. 1, 2. There you go. Second step aims for behind the fullback. All right, come on back. Now we'll do 3 steps. Ball's going to be handed off. You can drop the ball on the 3rd step. Sit. 1, 2, 3. Good. All right, now come on back. Let's try it one more time. And now let's do the whole thing. Now you can drop the ball when you hand it off to the fullback and go ahead and attack the flank, like the keep pass play. Sit. All right, well done. Okay, now that's our belly play, going to the right and to the left, okay? The companion play to the belly is the belly keep pass. So when we were handing the ball off to the fullback, we were faking the belly keep pass. Now we're going to fake the ball to the fullback, and we're going to keep the ball on the keep pass. This is a run pass option at the flank and one of the mainstays in the wing T. It's got to be well done to be able to defeat 8-man front, so we need to be able to practice this and be good at it. Okay? Now, the footwork should be exactly the same for the quarterback on the belly keep pass as it is on the belly. The difference is now we're going to jab the ball in the fullback's gut instead of handing it to him and then pull it back up into a passing situation on the 3rd step. Okay, so let's just take the first step first, Carson. All right, take the first step beyond the midline, just about 60 degrees or about to 5 o'clock, okay? On set. Sit. Boom, just like that, okay? Good. All right, come on back. Now I'm going to give you a fullback picture, okay? All right, now we're going to take 2 steps. All right, we'll bird dog them, so we'll count them out. Take the first step only on set. Sit. Okay, get your back foot pivoted around. There you go. All right, on 2, take the second step for my tail. 2. Okay, good. Now, on 3, here's where the difference comes in. On 3, the quarterback's going to poke the ball into the fullback's stomach and pull the ball back out and get it up into a passing grip. Okay? All right, come on back. Let's try it again. Now we'll go 3 steps. Okay? All right, bird dog them and count them out. Sit. 1, 2. Okay, 3. All right, pull the ball out and come on back out of there and get ready to throw the ball, okay? Now let's do it with just the quarterback, okay? All right, First step only. Sit. Good. Well done. All right, come on back. Now let's go 2 steps. Sit. Okay, good. Now let's do 3 steps. Okay, remember on the 3rd step, step behind the fullback. Okay, sit. 1, 2, 3, pull it out. Okay, all right. Now let's do the whole thing. Let's do the whole thing and attack the flank. Okay, sit. Okay, very well done. Good job. Okay? All right, now that's 81 keep pass. That's a run pass option at the flank. The quarterback reads the 4th defender, and he'll either keep the ball or throw the ball, depending on what the reaction is he gets out there in the secondary. All right, now let's do the same thing going to the left. Now we're going to do 89 keep pass, the companion play to 81. Okay? All right, and the first step we'll take is slightly beyond the midline, so about 7 o'clock. Okay, just 1 step only. Sit. Well done. Okay. All right, 2-step progression. Sit. 1, 2. Right there. Okay. All right, now we'll do 3. All right, this is 3 steps. Sit. 1, 2, 3. Pull the ball out and attack the flank. Okay. Now, obviously, in a game, these are being run full speed, so this all speeds up. Okay. All right, let's have Carson do it by himself now. All right, Carson, let's explode out of there now, and let's go full speed and show them what it'll look like. Okay. All right, so 1 step only. Sit. Boom, there's the first step. Well done. Okay, come on back. All right, 2nd step. We'll do 2 steps this time. Okay. Sit. 1, 2. Good. All right, that's well done. All right, come on back. Remember now, step behind the fullback. Don't step in front of him and trip on him as he cuts back. Okay. All right, number 3. I'm sorry, 3 steps. All right, sit. 1, 2, 3. Good. There we go. The ball's coming back out of there, ready to be thrown. Okay, now let's do the whole thing. Let's explode and show them what it would look like going to the left. All right, sit. Okay, we're going to do the whole thing. Okay, and we're going to attack the flank, but we're going to have a little bit better depth this time. Okay. All right, here we go. On sound, do the whole thing. Sit. There you go. That's it. Well done. See, when you stretch the flank, now that gives you a chance to either run or pass, see? So you have a nice run-pass option. The next play we want to demonstrate is our tackle trap counter, which is part of the belly package in my mind. Now what we do on this is that we get flow established, okay? We're going to run 87 cross block, where we're going to hand the ball to the fullback going to the left, and we're going to run it and run it and run it. And when we get the defense to really overcommit with flow, then we're going to hand the ball off to that left halfback as part of that belly package, but have him counter back against the grain, okay? Now, in this particular case, we want a fullback to run for the outside leg of the guard, okay? And as he steps, his first step, say if we're going to run 34 counter, which is counter to our left halfback going to the right, then we're going to try to show the picture of the belly going to the left. But the fullback is actually going to take a downhill angle, and he's going to cross over and run for the outside leg of the guard. So his first step is a crossover step for the outside leg of the guard, and as he passes the quarterback, he fakes over an imaginary ball. That gives the picture of the belly game to the defense. The left halfback on this play is the ball carrier. All right, he needs to show the picture of the cross block as well. So when the ball gets snapped, what we want this halfback to do is rock his weight to the outside. Okay, now on the belly play, that lead halfback is going to take a little jab step out and up to allow time for the cross block to occur, and then he dives for the outside leg of the guard and he blocks the inside linebacker. So we want to show that same picture a little bit, and by taking the weight and rocking the weight to the outside foot, we're kind of simulating that jab step, okay? So the halfback rocks his weight to the outside foot, does not take a step outside, just rocks his weight. Now his next step is going to be a lead step to the inside. So as he rocks his weight, he's going to push off the outside foot and take a lead step to the inside. Again, his toes are going to point north and south, his shoulders are going to be square to the line of scrimmage, and he's going to gain about 6 inches toward the line of scrimmage. On his second step, it's kind of like the fullback's second step on the belly. He's going to cross over, okay, keeping his shoulders square to the line, his toes pointing to the line of scrimmage, and now he starts downhill at the point of attack. We tell this halfback that he can run for the near foot of the center against an odd defense, but if it's an even defense, he's going to move his landmark in to the inside foot of the guard, which is what we call a short hole. So on an even defense, he'll be just a little bit closer, a little bit further away from the quarterback. So therefore, the quarterback needs to adjust his footwork slightly. Okay, so if we have an odd defense on the counter play, we want the quarterback, since the halfback is going to be aiming for the near foot of the center, we want the quarterback to step on the midline on the first step. So the quarterback's first step, he's going to reverse pivot off his left foot and step on the midline with his right foot. Okay, now remember, now pivot that back foot around. Okay, all right, let's try that, Carson. All right, we want the first step, explode out of there and take the first step on the midline. Sit! Boom, just like that. All right, now, as he takes that step, the fullback has crossed over and he's running for the outside leg of the guard and he's going to fake over an imaginary ball. Now, on the second step, we want the quarterback to wrap his second step tight off the fullback's tail and start right toward that halfback, okay? He's going to hand the ball to the halfback inside, all right? So now, come on back, Carson. All right, on the second step, let's walk through this a little bit. I'll be the halfback, okay? All right, so on the first step, Carson takes the first step to the midline, the halfback rocks his weight outside and then steps inside, all right? On the second step now, the halfback crosses over and Carson's second step is going for the tail of that halfback. We want to be able to go behind him. On the third step, it's going to be a one-handed inside handoff right there at arm's distance length, and now Carson's going to, from there, continue to attack the flank and fake the counter bootleg. All right, and the halfback has the ball. Again, he attacks the near foot of the center on an odd defense or the inside foot of the guard on an even defense. All right, so let's go through that again. This is 34 counter. This is the tackle trap counter to the halfback, and this is the quarterback's footwork, okay? All right, first step only. Set! Boom. This is odd defense now. We're talking about an odd defense. First step's on the midline. All right, come on back, Carson. Now we'll go 2 steps. First step is on the midline. Second step is going to aim for the, is going to wrap tight around the fullback and aim for the back of the halfback, behind the halfback, okay? All right, take 2 steps this time. Sit! 1, 2, just like that. Well done, okay? All right. Now, on the third step, the quarterback's going to make the handoff to the halfback. As he makes the handoff to the halfback, he places the ball in there, places the ball to the halfback. Now, as he hands the ball off, we want him to drag this hand, okay? Place this hand in the crease of the pants, and now as he attacks the flank, we pump this front side arm and we keep the back side arm locked in this crease of the pants to make it look like counter bootleg, all right? So Carson, drag that backside arm and then attack the flank as we do this thing, okay? All right, let's take 3 steps now, okay? Set! 1, 2, 3. There's where the ball gets handed off. Okay, good, all right? All right, one more time, now let's do the whole thing. This is 34 counter. We're handing the ball off to the halfback. The next play we do off of this would be the counter bootleg play. All right, let's try it again. Do the full thing. Do the full play now, Carson. Let's go 34 counter on sound. Sit. Okay, well done. All right, that's the 34 counter play against the odd defense. Now, what happens if the defense is even? All right, it's a slight adjustment in the footwork with the ball carrier and the quarterback. And what happens now is the ball carrier is going to aim for the inside foot of the guard because that's where the double team is taking place, and he wants to stay nice and tight to the double team. So the quarterback now, on his first step, when it's an even defense, will reverse pivot, but instead of being on the midline, he comes beyond the midline just a little bit like he might have done on the belly play, okay? Let's demonstrate that, Carson. First step now, reverse pivot past the midline. All right, this is 34 counter against an even defense. Sit! Boom, just well done, just like that, okay? The rest of the play now is exactly the same, okay? Come on back. Let's do the second step. The second step is going to wrap tight around the fullback and aim for the back of the ball carrier. All right, let's do 2 steps. Set. 1, 2. All right, well done, just like that. Now wrap that step nice and tight right around that fullback's tail, Carson. Okay, there you go, just like that. All right, let's do 3 steps. Set. 1, 2, 3. That's where the ball gets handed off. And you can see now as he hands him the ball, he's going to drag that front side hand and attack the flank, pumping that front side arm. Well done. Okay? All right, that's 34 counter. That's a little bit like Anytime you're running the ball up inside like this, the odd defense has or the even defense has a little bit of an effect on the quarterback's footwork. Okay, now let's do the same thing going the other way. Let's run 36 counter. Okay, so we'll run it against an odd defense, so the first step will be right on the midline. Okay, the ball is going to be handed off to the right halfback coming left against an odd defense. So the first step, again, right on the midline. All right, one step only. Sit. Okay, well done. All right, come on back. Now let's take 2 steps, and remember the second step wraps nice and tight around the tail of the fullback. Sit. 1, 2. There it is, good. Just like that. Okay, come on back. Let's take 3 steps. And now on the third step, the ball is handed off and the front hand drags. Okay? Sit. 1, 2, 3. There you go, just like that. Very well done. Okay? All right, let's do the whole thing now, Carson. All right, 36 counter on sound. Sit. 1, 2, 3. Drag the hand and attack the flank. Good. Well done. Okay? Now, that's 36 counter versus an odd defense. All right, let's do 36 counter against an even defense. Now, because the ball carrier is going to go a little bit shorter into a short hole, the quarterback needs to step just a little further. So his first step now will be just a little bit beyond the midline, and then the second step and the third step and the rest of it remain the same. All right, so let's take 1 step only. Sit. Well done. Just a little bit past the midline because the footwork of the ball carrier is going to be just a little shorter. All right, come on back. Okay, 2 steps. Sit. 1, 2. Good. Now that second step wraps nice and tight right around the tail of the fullback as he runs for the outside leg of the guard. All right, come on back. 3 steps now. On the third step, we're going to drag that hand as the ball gets handed off. Sit. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Well done. Okay? All right, one more time, last time. We'll do the whole thing now. Okay? Sit. 1, 2, 3, and attack the flank. Okay, well done. The counter bootleg play is the same play as the counter for the quarterback in terms of his footwork, okay? The difference now is when that quarterback drags that hand, there's not going to be a handoff made. The ball is going to be actually placed in the left hand as he attacks the flank going to his left, okay? So 34 counter bootleg, we're going to fake the tackle trap counter to the left halfback, okay? One coaching point is that when we run the counter bootleg, we always fake over a short hole regardless of what the defense is, okay? The reason for that is so that the quarterback steps beyond the midline and is attacking the flank sooner. It makes him 1 step closer to the flank, okay? So in this particular case, the fullback does the exact same thing, okay? His first step crosses over for the outside leg of the tackle now. He's going to be just a little bit wider because he has to block that area and then slide into the flat, and he still fakes over an imaginary ball. The halfback's footwork is the same, except that he's going to fake over a short hole, okay? So I'll be the halfback with you. Carson, let's take 1 step only. Okay, this is 34 counter bootleg. Sit. All right, there's the first step. Quarterback beyond the midline, halfback rocks his weight, takes the first step inside. All right, let's do 2 steps now. Okay? All right, 2 steps. Sit. There's the second step, just like that. Okay? Halfback's going to aim for the inside foot of the guard. Okay, now let's do 3 steps. Okay, now here's where the ball is going to be placed in the crease of the pants by the quarterback, and the hand is going to be dragged, but now there's no handoff made. We're just going to drag the hand like we handed the ball off. We're going to give the picture of a handoff. Okay? All right, 3 steps. Sit. Right there. There we go. Now this quarterback fakes with the hand. The ball is now placed in the crease of the pants. Okay? The quarterback drags that hand as he passes the ball carrier. All right, and he attacks the flank with the ball in his hand, pumping that front side arm with the ball hidden from the defense. Okay? All right, Carson, let's have you do it now. 34 counter bootleg on sound. Let's do 1 step only. Sit. First step, good. Beyond the midline, okay? All right, second step. Let's do 2 steps this time. Sit. 1, 2. Good. Second step again wraps tight around the tail of the fullback. All right, let's do 3 steps. Sit. 1, 2, 3. There you go, good. Okay? All right. Now let's do the whole thing. Set. 1, 2, 3. Attack the flank. Pump that front side arm. Well done. All right, that's the counter bootleg play going to the left. That's 34 counter bootleg. All right, now we're going to do the same thing going to the other side. Okay, we're going to run counter bootleg to the right. This would be 36 counter bootleg. We're going to fake the counter over a short hole to the right halfback and attack the flank going out there to the right. Okay, same footwork. Again, the quarterback is going to step beyond the midline because we're going to fake over a short hole when it's the counter bootleg. Okay, let's take one step, Carson. Set. Well done. Pivot that back foot all the way around. There you go. Okay, good. Come on back. All right, let's take 2 steps. Remember, the second step wraps tight around the tail of the fullback. Okay, set. 1, 2. There you go. Well done. Okay, good. Come on back. All right. Now we'll do 3 steps. Okay, and on the 3rd step, we're going to drag that inside hand. Okay, set. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Good. Well done. Well done. All right, let's do the whole thing now, Carson. Stretch the defense with the ball. Hide that ball. Make sure that ball's in the crease of the pants and that front arm pumps. Set. 1, 2, 3. Drag the hand, attack the flank. There you go. Now, Carson, stretch the flank now. Don't come too much downhill too early. Okay? The last series that we want to work on is we want to work on our down option series. So the first play we're going to run is down. Some people call it belly G. Delaware terminology is 82 and 88 down for this play. So when going to the right, it's 82 down. Now, this is a fast hitting play. It's a quick trap where the guard pulls and traps the defensive end out and the fullback hits on a straight line off tackle. The other belly play was kind of a circular path where the ball was given to the fullback as deep in the backfield as he could get it so that he could read and cut back anywhere along the line of scrimmage. The down play is a direct hitter. It's fast and it's on an angle. So in this particular case, the fullback is going to cross over for the outside foot of the tackle and run on a straight line, just like that, almost like an outside veer type of play. Okay? The quarterback on this play is going to reverse pivot flat and fast straight down the line of scrimmage. Okay? So he's going to reverse pivot off his near foot. That foot is going to pivot and his shoulders are going to come all the way around flat down the line of scrimmage. Okay? On the quarterback's second step, he's going to reach the ball to the fullback's pocket and ride the fullback to the front foot on the 3rd step. And that obviously sets up the down option play, but it also draws the defense in. Okay, so we want to trap this defensive end out if he's penetrating and hand the ball off and on a quick hitter to that fullback. When the fullback receives the handoff, he squares his shoulders into the hole and gets north and south. Okay, so let's walk through this. I'll be the fullback with you, Carson. First step only now, okay? You're going to reverse pivot off of that front foot, flat and fast down that line of scrimmage, okay? And the fullback's going to cross over for the outside foot of the tackle. I just take 1 step only. Set! Boom, right there, okay? That's what the first step looks like. All right, now on the second step, continue straight down the line of scrimmage. All right, and the fullback is going to, okay? Now, as you take that step, you're going to reach the ball back into the fullback's pocket, and in the 3rd step, the fullback squares his shoulders, the quarterback gives him a ride, and now attacks the line of scrimmage, or the end man on the line of scrimmage for the option. We want to fake the down option on this play, not the keep pass. Okay, so let's try with just the quarterback now, 1 step only. Okay, set. Boom, right there. Good. All right, now let's take 2 steps. Come on back. All right, remember now, reverse pivot, flat and fast, straight down the line. On the 2nd step, begin to reach the ball back to the fullback. Set. 1, 2. Okay, good. All right, let's go 3 steps. Okay, now on that 3rd step, ride that fullback to that front foot. Set. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now as you ride the fullback to the front foot, continue coming down the line of scrimmage with the front foot so the front foot keeps coming. Okay, let's try that one more time. Okay. Set. 1, 2, 3. Now keep coming. There you go. There you go, just like that. Okay, good. Good job. Okay, and that's our 82 down play. That's down going to the right. Now the same thing going to the left. We'll do it the exact same way. Okay, the fullback crosses over for the outside foot of the tackle. So his first step is right there. The quarterback reverse pivots flat and fast straight down the line of scrimmage. Okay, then on the 2nd step, the quarterback's going to start to reach that ball back to the fullback, and on the third step, he's going to continue down the line, ride the fullback to the front foot, and fake the down option. Okay? All right, let's do that one step, Carson. All right. Sit. Good, there's the first step. Don't be afraid to reach that first step out. See if you can get all the way to the outside leg of the guard with that first step. Okay? All right, let's go 2 steps now. Sit. 1, 2. There you go, good. All right, let's go 3 steps. Remember now, keep gaining width as you take the third step. Okay? Sit. 1, 2, 3. There you go, good. Ride that fullback to the front foot and attack the line of scrimmage for the down option play. Well done. Now that's 82 down going to the right, 88 down going to the left. Now we're going to look at the down option play. All right, on the down option play, it's the same footwork basically for the quarterback, but now the ball is going to be faked to the fullback. We want a nice arm's length ride to the fullback, and we want to attack the 4th man for the option play. Okay, this is like a loaded option play for us, and so the end man, the 3rd man on the line of scrimmage will get log blocked because we're going to run this play because this defensive end decided he didn't want to be kicked out anymore, so now he started to squeeze real hard, and the guard pulled and logged him inside, and now the quarterback keeps the ball outside, and now we're optioning off the 4th defender, who normally will take the pitch, and normally this would be a quarterback keep for our quarterback. So we want to emphasize this play when we've got a fine running quarterback. All right, so I'll be the fullback for you. Let's walk through it. Okay? All right, we'll take 1 step only. Set. Quarterback reverse pivots, fullback crosses over for the outside leg of the tackle. All right, on the 2nd step, quarterback reaches that ball back. On the 3rd step, he rides that fullback onto the front foot. Now from here, you want that quarterback to snap his hands back into his belt buckle and pull that ball out of there as the fullback squares his shoulders, and now attack the flank down the line of scrimmage. Okay? All right, so let's do that with Carson now. Okay? 1 step only. Set. Reverse pivot. Well done. That's good length on your first step. Good job. Okay? All right, come on back. All right, let's do 2 steps now. All right, set. 1, 2, good. Now the ball starts to get ridden into the fullback's stomach. Okay, good. Come on back. Okay, 3rd step, we're going to ride the fullback to the front foot. Okay, set. 1, 2, 3. There you go. Good. Okay, well done. Now let's do the whole thing. And remember, as you ride that fullback, snap those hands back to that belt buckle and get that ball in a position so you can pitch it or keep it. All right, set. 1, 2, 3. Snap the hands. Come on back down the line. Well done. All right, good job, Carson. All right, last one now is 88 down option. Same play going to the left. Okay, 1 step only. All right, reverse pivot, flat and fast down the line of scrimmage. Set. Okay, all right, well done. All right, come on back. Get good extension on that first step. All right, let's go 2 steps now. Set. 1, 2. Good. Good. All right, come on back. Now we'll go 3 steps and we'll ride that fullback to the front foot. Sit. 1, 2, 3. There it is right there, just like that. Okay? All right, come on back. All right, last one now. All right, do the whole thing, 88 down option. Sit. 1, 2, 3, and attack downhill. Well done. The next part of the quarterback's practice plan is what we call handoff period. Now, this is the period where you're going to work on handing the ball off to just the back that you're actually going to hand it to. All right, for instance, now we try to mass teach and cross train, and we try to get as many people as many reps as we can in our practice period. So if this is a 5-minute period, we want as many reps to as many different people as we can get. Now, for instance, down here in this particular part of the drill, you're going to have your fullbacks and a quarterback and a center. The center is going to snap the ball to the quarterback, and he's going to hand the ball off to a fullback who's running any of the fullback plays. So let's say, for instance, you want to practice 83, which is our belly to the right, with the fullback taking lead, crossover, square up footwork, and then attacking the inside leg of the tackle. The quarterback takes the snap, reverse pivots, hands the ball to that fullback, and attacks the flank to fake the keep pass play. All right, and while that's going on, as soon as that's finished, this quarterback sprints back here, and the next fullback sprints up, and that fullback goes to the back of the line, and you just keep getting as many reps as you can. At the same time that's going on, this center takes a snap, and let's say that halfback's working on 29 sweep. So this quarterback takes the snap, reverse pivots 2 steps on the midline, hands the ball to that halfback, and then fakes the waggle over there. As soon as he's done, that quarterback sprints back, the next right halfback sprints up, and now we get another rep. At the same time, all these other drills are going on. This halfback might be working on 21 sweep. So the quarterback takes the snap, takes 2 steps on the midline, gives the ball to that halfback, and then fakes the waggle. As soon as it's done, the quarterback gets back over there, that next left halfback jumps up in there, and then we run another rep. So there's rep after rep after rep, and the only people that have to change at all are the quarterbacks. About 1/3 of the way through the period, the coach yells switch, and this quarterback goes to that station, that quarterback comes to this station, and this quarterback goes to that station, so that your quarterbacks are getting reps at all the plays, but your running backs are getting reps over and over and over again on the same football play. Now, one comment real quick. You might ask yourself, well, don't the centers ever work on blocking? Yeah, they do. Our centers are involved with the quarterbacks for sure during hand-up period, but we want these quarterbacks to take a snap from somebody every time that they put a ball into play. And so one of the first things that we do at the beginning of every year is we teach our kickers and punters how to be snappers. And during individual period, they help us with these drills. And so when these drills are over, then they can go down to the other end of the field and work on their kicking charts. But initially, for the first part of practice, somebody is going to snap that ball to those quarterbacks. That's handoff period. The next part of the quarterback's practice plan and the next part of his development is a drill we call pitch drills. Now, in this particular drill, it's set up similar to the handoff period, but now instead of having 3 stations, there's only 2. And what we're doing here is we're working on option plays now. We're working on all the plays where the quarterback might actually have to pitch the ball to one of the halfbacks. Okay? So over here on this side of the field, we have a quarterback, a center, and another quarterback. We have a couple of fullbacks, one who's going, one who's ready to go on deck, and we have all the right halfbacks. Now let's just say, for instance, this particular day we're running 88 down option over here, and we would be running 82 down option over there. So on this side of the field, we have a center, a quarterback, a couple of fullbacks, and all the left halfbacks, and they're running 82 down option. So they're shotgunning. They're going as fast as they can with as many reps as they can. So what happens here, the quarterback takes the snap, he rides the fullback into the line of scrimmage. As he reverse pivots, he rides the fullback, comes on down the line of scrimmage, and executes the option pitch to the right halfback, who started in early motion and comes around and establishes pitch relationship with the quarterback. Now you'll notice that a quarterback is sitting there, and he is going to give this quarterback a read. He is going to challenge that quarterback. We want those quarterbacks to challenge each other in these drills so that when they actually do this in a game, it's easy. And they've had all the looks. They've had the slow play, the cat and mouse, the hard charger, all these things. So again, we have quarterbacks practicing pitching the ball to one side over here and the other side over here. Now, halfway through the period, we yell switch. These quarterbacks and fullbacks go to this side, and these quarterbacks and fullbacks come to this side, and they just switch sides real quick, and here we go. And now they keep on rotating, and now quarterbacks get worked and fullbacks get worked to both sides. The halfbacks, they just keep getting the same reps over and over again on the same drill. And that's our pitch drill period. And the next part of the quarterback's progression is what we call full backfield technique. All these drills that I've been showing you, they're all part of individual period, okay? But part of this is just the quarterbacks by themselves, and then part of it is done with the rest of the backfield. Now, when we do full backfield technique, we have all the backs together in one centralized location. And we're going to pick out any plays that really require perfection. So let's just say, for instance, that we want to work cross block some days, okay? All right, so now we're going to come down here and we're going to work on a set of spacing boards, and we're going to run 187 cross block, which is our cross block play to the left. Now what happens here is that the right halfback is going to come in motion, the fullback is going to get the ball, and the halfback is going to go through the hole and block the linebacker, okay? So the cross block play looks like this. Our halfback takes a quick jab step out and up, runs for the outside leg of the guard, and then he blocks that linebacker with his head to the inside. The fullback takes a lead, crossover, square up step, receives the handoff from the quarterback, attacks the inside leg of the tackle, and makes the read off the defensive tackle and breaks either in or out. Our right halfback, who's coming in motion, when he passes the quarterback and the fullback mesh, he comes downhill and he log blocks the first free man at the flank to set up the keep pass. The quarterback reverse pivots, hands the ball off to the fullback, and then attacks the flank and fakes the keep pass. All right, now you notice that I have dummies over here, okay? And what we have is we have an extra back holding those dummies. So when we're running to the left, an extra left halfback holds that dummy because that's who the left halfback blocks. An extra fullback holds that dummy because that's who the fullback reads. An extra right halfback holds that dummy because that's who the right halfback blocks. And then after they run the play, they become the guy holding the bag. The guys holding the bag run to the back of the line, and now the next group, they step up and they get ready to run the play when it's their turn. So you get one rep right after another, and you work on the entire backfield. The whole backfield is there together, and they're practicing plays that require extra technique or require a lot of precision in your backfield. And so those are basically our core wing T plays that we practice in those full backfield technique sections. Now the next drill that we're going to send the quarterbacks to, and maybe not all of the quarterbacks, but for sure some of them, is what we call our waggle drill. Now, most people think this is a drill just for the linemen, but no, this is a drill for the quarterbacks as well. And let me show you why. Now basically it is all the linemen that are down here, and it's one or two quarterbacks, okay? The way the drill is set up is we have our two spacing boards, and we're going to practice waggle to the left, then waggle to the right, back and forth, and we're going to shotgun these plays as fast as we can get them done. So let's say the coach says 29 waggle, so that means we're practicing waggle to the right. All right, now what happens real quick is that the quarterback steps under center and he says 29 waggle on sound, set, and the play starts. When the play starts, the right guard pulls flat down the line of scrimmage and he log blocks the end man on the line, and we have another lineman over there holding a big bag that's or even a shield so that right guard can actually practice that block. The left guard takes a pull step, he crosses over so that he has to go behind the cone, and now he attacks the flank and he kicks out the next bag. That's like a corner who's penetrated into the backfield and he has to kick him out. All right, we can also put that bag back over here on this side of the line of scrimmage, and now that guard would lead the quarterback up the field. All right, or we can give the defensive players shields and have them move that around, and we can have the coach direct them what he wants them to do. All right, while this is going on now, when the quarterback says set and the play starts, the quarterback takes those two steps on the midline, and now he attacks the flank, and his eyes are on his partner. The other quarterback that's down there is simulating being the free safety down the field, and he simulates what kind of reaction the free safety is going to give him, whether he rolls to the action side or stays in the middle or is influenced by the sweep, whatever. Okay? Now, also, we want the quarterback to get the feel for when we have to kick out that guy off the edge to step up inside of that. We don't ever want to outrun that penetration to the flank. Okay? So as soon as this play is over, the next two guys jump up there. And by the way, these are all of our linemen learning these guard positions. When I say we cross-train, that's exactly what we do. Everybody on our line learns to play all the positions. They learn all the techniques anyway. They learn the assignments only if they're called on to actually play those positions. But everybody's taught all the techniques, okay? So the next two linemen jump up, the quarterbacks exchange real quick, and now on the next play, we're going to go 21 waggle, which means we're going to run the same thing to the left. So the left guard pulls and logs, the right guard pulls, crosses over, and kicks out. The quarterback comes back here, and now he attacks the flank to the left, and he's given a read over here by that quarterback. So the quarterbacks are involved in waggle drill, and for a lot of people, they might believe that this is strictly a lineman drill. We don't. We believe that the quarterback should be involved in that drill as well. The next part of the quarterback's individual period or practice is actually a group drill. This is a drill that we call routes versus air. And if you're going to throw the ball and you're going to be efficient in the passing game, this is one of the places where you start. And basically you're throwing the ball when there's no defense out there whatsoever. So your quarterbacks execute their footwork, your receivers execute good pattern technique, and you actually throw the ball and catch the ball, which is a big part of this. Now this drill can be done a number of ways. Let's say that you're going to run a Y cross play, okay, where that tight end runs a crossing route, that halfback runs a sit-down route, this end runs a post, this end runs a comeback, and the fullback checks and runs to the flat, and the quarterback's dropping back 5 steps and throwing the ball. Now, there's a couple of different ways that you can do this drill. The first way, obviously, is to have all the receivers, everybody run their route, and the quarterback drops back, and maybe the coach stands back here, and the coach gives him a read on who to throw to. So he throws high or low off the coach, whatever, okay? The other way to run this drill is to run these routes one at a time, okay? So the split end is up, he runs the comeback, the quarterback drops back and throws that one. Now the quarterback hurries back up to the field, gets ready. Now he takes the snap, drops back, and now the right halfback runs his sit-down route, okay? And the quarterback throws him the ball. Then the fullback is next. So the quarterback drops back, the fullback checks and releases to the flat, the quarterback throws him the ball. Then the quarterback throws to the tight end on the shallow drag. Then the quarterback throws to the left half on the post. Now a whole new set of guys jump up in there and they go. Okay, now the next quarterback gets the chance to throw all 5 routes. It may take a little bit more time, but at least this way the quarterback gets all the throws. So both of those ways are good ways to do the drill. You get a lot of reps. And the other thing you can do is if you want to, you can have extra quarterbacks standing back here and just throw extra balls out there. Make the quarterback who's under center execute the read, and everybody else just throws a ball out there to the guys. So everybody's getting a chance to catch the ball. Lots of different ways you can do this drill, but that's the next part of the quarterback's progression in practice. The next part of the quarterback's practice plan is what we call 4 corners. All right, now, this is not necessarily individual, it's basically a group drill, but this is a drill that we're going to do against the defense, okay? Now, the 4 corners basically means that we have 4 one-on-ones going on all at the same time. That's basically what it is. So over here on this hash mark, there's a center snapping the ball to a quarterback who drops back and who throws a route to this split end. So let's say they want to work on their out routes or curl routes or whatever over there. Now he's going to throw one-on-one against a defensive back who's going to cover this guy with press man or off man, whatever. This is man-to-man coverage and one-on-one routes being run against those man coverage guys. Let's say this quarterback over here wants to work on the tight end waggle route. So he takes his waggle footwork and the tight end runs his waggle route and he's running against a DB over there, okay? Over here, let's say this right halfback is working on a banana route. The quarterback's working on play action and he fakes a play action, drops back, and then he throws the ball to that halfback who's being covered by that DB. And then let's say over here, this halfback is working on a sit-down route, so the quarterback takes a drop back and throws the sit-down route off of that defensive back. And I'm just giving you examples right there. But what you can see is you have a quarterback dropping back, throwing to a split end going in that direction. This quarterback's throwing to a tight end going in that direction. This quarterback's throwing to a halfback going in this direction down the field away. And this quarterback's throwing to another halfback going in that direction away. So they're all dropping into the middle and throwing the ball away from each other, but that's 4 corners. The routes can be anything. Obviously, you can run anything that you want with any action that you want, but it's one-on-one, man-to-man coverage against our receivers, and we're trying to see if the quarterback can get the ball to the receiver who's trying to get open against that defensive coverage. That's 4 corner drill. That pretty much sums up how we break down individual, and even though we say those are individual drills, some of them are group drills as well. But now we're going to get into the real group phase of our practice plan and the development of the quarterback. The next thing that the quarterback's going to do is he's going to be involved in what we call mixed group work. And there's 2 different drills that go on during mixed group work period. One of them is called our internal drill, okay? When we're working on our internal drill, basically that's off tackle and internal runs. Those are things where we want to smash the ball up the middle and where we want to get physical. Now, during this drill, we have a center, 2 guards, 2 tackles, a tight end, and a backfield. And the defense has all their front 7 or front 8 guys, okay? So whatever their front is minus their defensive backs, that's who's down there going against those guys. All right, and again, these are internal runs. This is where toughness is developed, and this is where we learn to come off the ball and make yards against the defense even when they're, even when the defense knows you're going to run the ball between the tackles. So that's what internal drill is. And we want quarterbacks involved in this because here's a great chance for them to work on their footwork and work on all their precision timing. The next drill that's part of the mixed group work drill is what we call perimeter drill. Now, the mixed group work session, there's two drills going on at the same time. So the internal drill is at one end of the field while the perimeter drill is working at the other end of the field. And halfway through the drill, we're going to have the backs and the guards switch. Okay? Now, in this drill, there are no offensive tackles, nor are there any defensive linemen. If you want to, if your center has to block a nose, you can put the nose guard in this drill. But basically, there's no defensive linemen and no tackles. Now, perimeter is just what it says. In this particular drill, we are working on all the perimeter runs. So let's say we want to work on down option, then this tight end has to block down basically on a bag right there. All right, this guard has to pull and log that outside backer. That halfback tries to block the inside backer. The fullback's working his way through the hole to block the safety. The quarterback's coming off, and he's trying to option that backside, that front side corner with the left halfback. This guard's trying to block that inside linebacker, and our split end would then be trying to cut off the corner. That's just an example of one play you can do. You can basically, you run all your perimeter plays, your play action passes, your flank passes, and your flank runs are basically what you're working on right here. Every once in a while you can slip an off tackle run in there, but that's not the purpose of the drill. You want to see how well these guys block those perimeter plays. And you want to see how well your quarterbacks can execute their footwork, their techniques, their options, their passing reads when it's play action passing and so forth. So that's what perimeter drill is, and that's part of mixed group work. All right, moving on now. After mixed group work period is over, now we're going to go and work on our passing period, okay? And in our passing periods, there are a couple of different drills that we like to do like everybody else does. We like to run a pass skeleton drill, and while this pass skeleton drill is going on, at the other end of the field is a live pass rush where our offensive linemen are protecting one-on-one and working on their live pass blocking against the defensive line. Now, sometimes we send linebackers to the pass rush, sometimes we send some of the running backs to the pass rush, but for the most part, while this is going on, we're trying to get something done in skeleton period. Now, during pass skelly, this is like you would be running routes versus air, except now instead of versus air, now you're running versus the defense. So we want to run our pass routes, and we want to run them against the defensive coverages that we're going to see in that particular week. So let's say we're working on a Y cross route where the tight end has to run a crossing route, the right halfback has to run a sit-down route, the left half has to run a post, the fullback's out into the flat, and the split end runs a comeback down the stem. So the quarterback would call the play, take the snap, drop back, and execute his reads. And that's just an example of one particular play that we could run. Obviously, we're going to run through our whole offense. When we do this period, we want two huddles. If we're working on the left hash, we want a huddle of offensive guys over here on the numbers and another huddle full of offensive guys over here in the middle of the field, and we want to shotgun those two huddles. So this huddle runs up to the line of scrimmage, runs their play. As soon as that play is finished, this huddle ought to be yelling, ready, break, and they ought to be sprinting to the line of scrimmage, getting as many reps in as they can. Okay? Also in our passing period, what we like to do is we like to have a little period that we call pass under pressure. Now, this is an 11-on-11 drill. It's really not a mixed group work drill, but it is a passing drill, and it is something I think is very necessary for the quarterback for his development. He needs to feel pressure, and he needs to feel it in practice so that when game time comes, he's used to it and it's not a big deal to him. So what we do in this pass under pressure drill is this is 11-on-11. And we tell the defense, this is your chance to tee off on the offense. We want them to run every blitz, every stunt, everything they can think of to make it absolutely hard on this quarterback over here in terms of his recognition. We want him to feel pressure, and we want our offensive line and our backs to have to pass block and be able to protect when they know it's coming. So on 3rd and 8, when we get into a game and somebody starts to blitz at us a little bit, it's no big deal for us. We've been through this before. So all that is we run drop back passing plays or play action drop back passing plays, and we run all defenses that we can think of over here that make it tough on the quarterbacks. Part of his development is to throw the ball under pressure and to be able to read various coverages, and this period takes care of it very nicely. Finally, the last part of the quarterback's development is 11-on-11 drills, okay? In these 11-on-11 drills, we have 3 different ways that we can do them, all right? And the first way is versus bags, okay? Now, when I say that, the defensive players over here, there's 11 defensive players, there's 11 offensive players. The offense is running their offense. They're running their plays. They're running their timing. They're doing everything that they have to do to be a good, efficient offense. But over here on the defense, we've backed down the amount of contact a little bit. So what we do is we have the defensive linemen hold those big bags or shields. And for sure the linebackers are going to do the same. We would prefer for the linebackers and even maybe the defensive backs to hold those yellow shields so that when we strike those guys, we're not striking bone on bone all the time, and we're taking some of the physical contact out of the game, but really working on the timing of the offense and so forth. The next way we do 11-on-11 drills is we just call it versus bodies. Now, when we do that, everybody's in full pads. The defense is not holding bags or shields. They have pads on. These people on offense are going to hit them. They're going to hit back, and it's 11-on-11, and the blocking is live, but the defense is instructed not to tackle the backs. Okay, so it's like a thud drill or whatever you want to call that, but we want to get the feel for the blocks. We want to get the feel for the real live reactions out of the defense, but we don't want full-scale tackling where there's pile-ups and backs are getting tackled to the ground. We're going to take that part out of it, but keep the blocking part of it live, keep the timing part of it live, keep the get-off live, and all those, the rest of those things are live. All right, and finally, the last phase of the quarterback's development continues with 11-on-11 drills, and now we're talking about full-scale scrimmage, which is the next step before playing an actual live game against another opponent, okay? And obviously, scrimmage is what it is. It's what it sounds like. It's where the offense is live, the defense is live, and the tackling is to the ground. So everything is live in this case. Now, in this case, you can develop your quarterbacks one of two ways. You can make everything live and the quarterback two-hand touch, or you can put the quarterback in harm's way and let him go live as well. My personal opinion as a football coach, been doing this for a long time, is that scrimmage is necessary, but it's not that necessary. It's something that you can do once or twice in preseason camp. If you're in a situation where your school is allowed to scrimmage live against another school, then I think that's great because that's a little bit more game-like. But if you're like in the NCAA where that counts as a game and so nobody does it, then you have to scrimmage against each other. You know, and obviously you would do these kinds of things in spring ball at times as well. But I would not recommend it more than once or twice in training camp and more than 3 or 4 times in spring ball where you're actually scrimmaging live 11-on-11 and taking the backs and the quarterbacks to the ground. But it's a necessary part of the game, and it's something that the quarterbacks have to live through, and it gets them ready to play a game. It's the next step to playing a live game. That concludes part 2 of our tape on how to coach the quarterbacks in the wing T. I thank you for your attention, and I hope this tape helps you with your program.